Hey, hi Ashwin. So hope you know we
Hi,
are
sir.
looking for a AWS DevOps candidate. So the basic detail, right? You received from HR, I believe. So I think, are you good to start for today's interview?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So be comfortable. No need to panic. Let me ask some simple questions. Okay. So we'll get it started.
Okay, sir. நீங்க சாரி சார் எல்லாரும்
Yeah,
கேட்டிருக்காங்கன்னு
Ashwin,
சொன்னீங்க.
yeah, we can get it started. So that's the resume I have, I get a chance to went through your resume. So when I checked, right, you have a good exposure with IT before. Yes, can you please tell about yourself?
Sure, sir. Good morning, sir. Before I introduce myself, let me thank you for giving the opportunity of introducing about myself. Hi, sir. This is Ashwin. I'm coming from Pondicherry. My native place is Pondicherry. Coming to my previous educational background, I am completed my schoolings in Pexon Higher Secondary School. In SSLC, I secured 84 percentage, and in higher secondary, I secured 76 percentage. And coming to my educational background, I did my graduation in Manakalar Vinayaka Institute of Technology with an aggregate of 71 percentage with the streaming of computer science engineering, which was passed out in the year 2018. Coming to my previous working experience, my first organization is Cognizant, which is located in Chennai. The job role is about associates who are working in APAC, Latin regions. We need to cross check for the associates related to the payroll related queries, and we ensure we need to check with the next level team to get assistance from them. And worked for 1.8 years, and then I moved to LMS Academy as a junior editor. The job role is about for school childrens. We need to edit visualize edit videos for based upon the school education related type of videos in a visual manner. Visual means in a graphical manner. There are graphical means there are separate teams related to animations and content writing, and once they plan accordingly, and we need to cross check for the video editing, and they worked for 3 months. And then I worked in Tech Mahindra, which is located in Chennai. The job role is support associates who are working in India, around India, and outside the countries. We need to cross check based on their issue. What are the issues facing? For example, if they are facing any issues related to laptop, desktop applications, and we need to cross check for the associates, and we need to probe the what are the issue facing. And once we know the what exactly know the problem, we need to, if possible, we need to take the remote and resolve within the SLA breach time. And then if we were unable to process it, means the concerned EUC team will take care of it. We need to send the ticket to the concerned team. We need to work in the ticketing tool called OTRS. So I worked in 1.8 years. Since I have worked in non-IT background, I am willing to switch from non-IT to IT background, so that I'm looking for a AWS background.
Okay.
And in the family, we are 4 members, including me. My father is a private employee. My mother is a housewife, and I have an elder sister. She is married, and the fourth person is about me. And that's all about myself, sir. Thank you for giving the opportunity.
Okay. So fine. So can you tell me what are the different AWS services you have a good awareness?
Yes, sir. In AWS services, I have strong knowledge in IAM, EC2, VPC, S3, RDS, and DevOps tools such as Boto3, Lambda, CloudFormation, Terraform, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, and Jenkins.
Okay. So you have a good exposure with AWS services and DevOps tools, is it? Okay. Tell me something for creating any EC2 instance, right?
Yes, sir.
Where you are getting a requirement from your client, they ask you to create a 3 EC2 instances. So what are the
Yes.
information you will collect from your requester before you start provision the instances?
Yes, sir. But before we need to create the instances, we need to cross-check with the client requirements, such as what are the images, AMI images we need to install, and what are the instance types, and mm, and the instances will be under which key pair. Whether for Linux means it is PPK and Windows means PEM. Based upon the Windows OS, we need to configure virtual machines.
Okay. Instance type AMI key pair. Apart from that, any other? Hello.
Yes. Instance type based upon
Instance
the
type AMI. Okay, key pair. What else you will check with your requester before you start provision?
Before we need to start provisioning,
For creating EC2 instance, what else you need? You mentioned AMI, key pair,
yes, key pair,
instance type. What other
instance type and security groups, security groups,
security group?
whether existing security group or we need to create a new security group.
Okay. What else? You would
And
need.
then VPC, if this we need to create under the default VPC, or we need to create a new VPC and then merge into this instance for creation.
After selecting VPC, we need anything else related to network? You are able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. From my knowledge, basically we need to important informations we gathered from this, and apart from this means.
Okay. So you created a three, Windows instances, out of which
Yes.
one instance is not, you are not able to take RDP. So what could be the possible issue?
One could be one instances for two instances we are able to take remote, and one means whether we need to check whether the IP is either public or private. For example, the two IPs are in public, and the third instance are in private, means we cannot able to take instance. So that's why for the third instance we need to take under for RDP, means we need to check the inbound rules to connect SSH internet protocols.
No, this is Windows server. Why are you checking SSH?
I'm sorry.
What protocol we need to check for Windows in inbound?
For inbound, we need to check zero traffic, sir. 0.0.
For which port number? I need to take a Windows server as a remote. What protocol and what port number I need to allow in the security group?
In the security group means we need to check for 433, sir. 433 for taking remote.
433 for HTTPS.
Yes, sir.
If you for taking remote desktop connection, you need 443.
And for taking remote connection means we need to we need to change the private into public using the NAT gate base.
Okay.
One thing, and then we need to do accordingly.
Okay. So what other possibility if you are not able to take RDP of remote connection of any particular EC2 instance, apart from inbound, apart from private IP, what other possibility should be there? We need to check.
We need to check whether the key pair has been assigned for the instance, third instance.
Without key pair, will you be able to create any EC2 server? Will it allow you to
yes.
server?
Will it? Yes, sir. There is an option to create create instance without creating the key pair.
Okay.
There is one option.
Okay. It's possible or not possible?
For it is it is possible for Linux, but Windows we need to create defaultly for
Okay.
features.
Okay. Okay. What other possibilities if I'm not able to take a remote connection of any Windows server?
The main thing, whether it is in private means we need to change for using the NAT gateway, and the other way means
What is the difference between private IP, public IP, and elastic IP?
private IP means for creating database, it for storing the data inside the instance means we need to use a private IP. Sir. For public IP, if we use public IP means we need to connect to the remote session to create for creating the instances. We need to create public IP. Sir.
Elastic IP?
Elastic means for domain creation.
Okay. Okay. Tell me, like in my environment, right? We are planning to have a 50 AWS accounts. Okay. So I want them to manage centrally. I want them to manage effectively. I want to apply some organization global policies and standards. So what is the best architectural approach you can suggest for me to plan? Based on your plan only, I need to start implement. Can you suggest?
Sir, if you don't mind, could you please repeat it again?
Yeah. So I have a client. They have a requirement to have a 50 AWS accounts. Okay, so now you need to suggest them. When I have a 50 plus AWS accounts, what is the centralized way of managing the AWS account and how I can apply my security policy and organization standard to all 50 accounts? How can I manage the billing? How can I manage the user authentication? So is there any best way you can suggest as an architect? Based on your architectural plan, we can implement that.
Okay. Shall I say?
Yeah.
Okay. Based upon this requirement for 50 managing the 50 AWS account, there is one master account. In that master account, we can enable SSO using identity providers console. And then there is in the organization there is called a FinOps team. The FinOps team will taking care of the organization's AWS billings account, managing the applications. How much applications are we are using routine and day-to-day policies. They will take care of the. They will approach the billings to reduce upon it.
So what are you trying to say? You need to enable SSO identity, identity center.
Identity provider, sir.
Then we need to
identity sector. Based upon that, every 50 account will log in using single sign-on option.
Okay.
SSO.
Okay. How can I centrally manage the billing and how can I centrally organize all 50 accounts? How can I apply the organization standard policies?
Organization standard policy using in the IAM in the IAM we need to we will create inline policies. That inline policies means for individual means we will apply this policy. For everything means we need to attach policy based upon the team's requirement. Whether they will need to apply. They will need to use for 3 applications for EC2, Lambda, S3 means these 3 applications will use for the team A. For team B, for another 3 applications they will use. Other than that, they cannot use it using that policy. If we apply that policy means it will restrict other applications for that user. And in technically means in organization there is FinOps team. They will cross check with the user to reduce the billings of the AWS account. They are taking care of um, to reduce the billing inside the um, AWS users.
Okay, you have a EC2 instance. Your client asking you to create 500 GB EBS volume to attach to your EC2 instance. So when you create a EBS volume, what are the different types of EBS volume available? Which one you mostly use in your project?
In our project, we will use the default volume, sir. Default EBS volume.
Default volume
For
means?
default means in the AWS in EC2 will suggest the EBS volumes. For example, 50 GB means uh, we will use. And based upon the client requirement, if they offer if they suggest as you said for 500 GB, um, we need to add the 500 GB in the EBS volumes.
What are the question is, what are the different types of EBS volume available in AWS? That is the question.
EBS volume. EBS volume means to create a backup. We are using a snapshot a launch template.
No.
That is under the.
Have you ever heard about general purpose GP2, general purpose GP3, provisioned IOPS volumes while creating EBS volume?
Yes, sir. It will under the creation stage.
That's what I'm
EC2.
telling. This is the different types of volumes.
Hmm.
Which volume you are using in your project?
EBS GP2.
GP2. Okay. So that is the question. So I have a account, AWS account. Every month I'm paying $3,000. My client feel like this is very huge amount we are spending every month. They are asking me to checking you the possibility. How can we cut down the cost? What are the suggestions you can check if you are in this case? What are the area you will check to cut down the cost?
In AWS, to cut down the cost means in the AWS there is a use case called budget. If you fix the budget means for example usage if to reduce the usage we need to fix a budget for per month I am using based upon your usage per month I am using um, this under this dollar means we need to fix the dollar amount in the budget based upon if the budget has been exceeded based upon your usage means it will it will create an alert in your email address based upon that you can be aware okay the account has exceeded your budget and based upon that you can reduce your usages in the AWS account.
No, my
And
question is how you will plan to reduce the cost. I don't want the report and all. We got the report already. $3,000 we are spending per month. I
okay,
need
sir.
to reduce it. What are the area you will check? What are the possibility you will suggest to reduce the cost? That is the question.
No. Possibility means we need if we say suggest to the user means we need to check what are the regions the use cases has been used in which of the region in whether in southeast regions or in Indian currency and which of the applications are taking more and more spaces to detect the amount. and we once we finalized these are the applications, whether EC2 instances and RDS. Um, if it takes so much of amount, means we will suggest user to use as per your requirement, and in implement in future, um, like that we will suggest to the concerned team.
You are not telling about what you gonna suggest. Where you will look into, where you will try to get the possibility to reduce the cost. How to reduce the cost in AWS account. You are telling all the stories, but not telling the possibility. How to reduce AWS cost from on AWS account. In that account, okay, 1 TB unused EBS volume there. If I delete that, my cost will reduce or not?
Yes, sir.
Tell me that kind of examples.
Okay, sir. For example, if we use if the EC2 instances is unused, or S3 bucket, except IAM, all are the applications are billable. Based on if you are using SQL in RDS, means if it is unused for more than 15 days, means we will suggest user to delete as soon as possible, to make the billings, to reduce the billings for the user for the upcoming month. Like that, we will monitor the using the account in the CloudWatch and billing consoles.
Can you tell me any two Lambda automation you have done in your AWS project?
Actually, I'm not sure about the automations. In our project, we have never used.
Okay, but you said you worked on Boto 3 Lambda and all.
Yes, sir.
What you worked in Boto 3 and Lambda?
For in Boto 3, we installed Boto 3 and applications. Sir.
What application?
For Lambda means, we will predict we will execute the source code. We need to test and deploy uh, based upon the event requirements.
Okay.
For automation means, if for production team and for application team, using Lambda, means for instances, we need to create a function in the Lambda applications, and we need to execute in that source code, sir.
Okay. So I need to create an IAM user. I need to provide him access to I need to provide him access to access one particular S3 bucket. He can upload anything. He can see anything, but he is not supposed to delete any object from the bucket. For this, how you will write a custom IAM policy for this?
In IAM, that user won't delete that object. For that, we need to create a policy like that you are asking, sir.
Yeah, custom IAM policy I need to write.
Okay. For IAM user, if they're using a S3 bucket, we need to create a policy called deny delete. If we apply that policy, means that user will never delete that object. It will kept under the AWS bucket. Sir. If the user is trying to delete the object, means it will restrict it.
Okay, I've done with my part. I'll share the feedback to HR. They'll get back to you. Okay.
Okay, sir.